Welcome back to DFS Army in the Crease. We are here to knock out tomorrow night's slate, the main slate for you. With me, I have Tattoo and Sean Hoy, and I am the Shark Lab. Tomorrow's slate is a 12 gamer. It is going to be primed for some serious action. We got some really good games. We got some really bad games to stay away from. But, as always, we're here to break them down for you and to get you onto the right games, on the right players, etc., and on those right net tenders so that you guys aren't taking a shot at Logan Thompson like you did last night. And, he gives you that fresh 5.6 DraftKings points in the net at 84.
Oh, I would have loved that. 5 more points than my guy. But I want to like patent that term now. I want net tender. I'm going to start calling him that.
He needs to tend the net a little bit better than he did, but shit, Logan's usually the nut dude, man. He's like always nuts, but he sucked last night, and now it's all right. It is what it is. You just move on. And moving on to these games, so let's take a look at the 7 p.m. slate of games. First up, we have the Islanders and Boston Bruins. Sorkin is expected, as well as Swayman. Which way are you guys leaning here with this game? Are you guys leaning as single entry contest? Any players from this multi-enter contest, MMEs, or like your cash games from this game? Anything like that?
I'm good. GPP only for me. I'm not really interested in this game.
Maybe a goalie if it's Swayman.
Yeah.
But
Swayman at home's usually been pretty decent. It's when he's on the roads where he's kind of you want to attack him.
I also wonder if like the break helped him. Like he just has had a weird year. And he's
him and
so young that we don't know if he's any good.
Yeah, him and Pittsburgh, their goalies have been weird this year. It's just been an off year for those guys. So anything from like power play 1 on the Islanders side here?
I'm just probably good. Pasternak's heating up, but like he's usually really expensive and on a 12 gamer.
Yeah.
Was it Mason Laurie or however you say his last name?
Laura.
Boston, Laura.
Yeah, I mean Geeky
only because he's usually pretty 3K-ish.
Yeah. Well, Geeky, he had a goal or an assist last time Boston played, but he's hit or miss. All right. Moving on to the next game, got San Jose and Montreal. It looks like Vitek Vanacek and Sam Montablanc is going to be tending the goals for San Jose and Montreal. What I will say is if it's George Aviv that's going to tend the net instead of Vitek, I would go right here, right to Montreal and land on that power play 1 with Caulfield, Suzuki. You could even look at Slavoski and Patrick Lane, and you would have a really good start of a lineup there because George Aviv, that guy has been a leaky sieve in goal, and it is like all you want to do, man, is just load teams up against that guy. So
forgive.
Yeah. So what are you guys' thoughts on this game?
He's a leaky netminder. I love this game, both sides. I would play Vanacek, assuming he's probably going to be one of the cheaper goalies. I mean, it could be a 7-5 game, or it's hockey. Who knows what's going to happen?
Well, but that's professional analysis.
Hey, I mean, well, it's called truth.
I got
If I knew exactly what was going to happen, I'd be rich.
I got
So you are rich.
Well,
That's why you're a coach.
yeah.
Sam's 8,300 in the goal for Montreal.
Oh, they
And
already
then
have the. I haven't looked at all-
Vanacek is 7,100 for tomorrow.
I like both sides of this. This is the rookie bowl. You know, I put a little Calder Trophy dart on Dustin Wolf, so I wouldn't mind if Lane Hudson smashes Celebrini into the boards and then he gets suspended. That'd be nice. But like I would go. You can go either way, like depending on the goalie matchup. Like you said, if it's what I call Forgiev because he gives up at least 4. You can load up Montreal at home. Patrick Laine can be a one-off, or you could stack the top line there. And then Montembeault has not put 2 games together in a row this year, really. He has like a great game and then a turd. So I don't mind the Celebrini line or whoever's on the power play.
It seems like Celebrini and Wallman are actually starting to gel a lot. I was watching them the other night, and they looked like they were gelling. You know, I thought that they gelled the best out of that top power play line, and their coaches were putting them on the line a lot in that game. I know it went 2-1 in favor of Winnipeg, but Celebrini and Wallman were on the ice during the power plays a lot more than the power play 2 was. At least it seemed like it. But Celebrini and Wallman, if I'm going with San Jose, are they're the anchors for either a 3 or a 4 man. And then I would say Eklund is the third guy. Will Smith he was skating pretty well against Winnipeg the other night. But you know, he's still an ancillary piece. He's probably your 4th guy in this, but I do like Eklund, Celebrini, and Wallman as your starting guys.
If Toffoli was on the full strength line with Celebrini, I could, include him since he's not going to be on the power play with them. But
yeah, I agree with you. Toffoli's a great player. I mean,
yeah,
he pairs well with Celebrini and Wallman. It's a good pairing there. All right, moving on to probably Sean's favorite game of tomorrow night. I know I'll be watching it. CBJ taking on Detroit. It looks like we got Elvis and Cam Talbot that are going to be tending the net tomorrow night. Though it could switch on Detroit's side. You just never know what Detroit's going to put in between the pipes. But Elvis is probably a pretty good lock there for tomorrow night. This Wernewski, man, I'm just going to start it off with Wernewski. That he is dynamite. I love watching him play. He's super young, super fast, super smart skater. And he just lights it up with the points. Like he gets assists if he doesn't score. I know he didn't get one the other night, but or he didn't get a point the other night, but he changes the game very quickly.
Yeah. And it's like whenever it's Detroit, that's where he's from. He went to Michigan. He's from Michigan. Him and Larkin are best buddies. They always whatever you can do, I can do better type thing. Like these games are going to be kind of hard to predict, but because they're so important that like the teams might tighten up a little bit, but they're gonna be playing their best player. Like these are every game is a playoff game, and these are 4-point games.
Yeah, Krill's been doing awesome. He had a 2-goal game just last night. And then they had Voronkov. He's always in the mix. And Fantilli. It'll be interesting to see how CBJ's lines start to change once Monahan gets off of injury.
Yeah, I honestly think that what they'll probably do, like I know this is just forecasting in the future, but I mean we're kind of supposed to do that too. But I think they're gonna keep Fantilli with the two Russians, like Fantilli and Marchenko are nails. Marchenko is a badass, freaking breaking his jaw and coming back within a month.
I saw that last night with his full mask.
Yeah, potting 2 goals, leading the league in plus minus. But I think what's going to happen is they might push Sillinger to third line center, and then they might play Monahan, Jenner, and KJ together. But
KJ had a good game last night.
KJ is nasty, but you know, only 5 dudes can play on the PP1. So, and right now it's those top guys. Like if you want to get different, you could go KJ and Werenski or something.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking about like going like with some of the power play 2 guys to get, you know, different with Columbus, going like JVR and Jenner, Sillinger, Propriov. I'm sure that's got to be pretty good value on all 4 of those guys.
Yeah, and if you're in a tournament, you're gonna get sub 2% on everything.
Yeah.
That's like an MME thing.
Yeah. That's not gonna be my.
Well, you could play Boone Jenner like anywhere. He's not priced up yet, and he's 49. Yeah, he blocks shots. He's out there late in the games. Like he shoots.
Boone's 4,900 tomorrow. JVR's 3,700.
Sillinger's usually right there, 39.
Voronkov is 64 and Krill is 61.
Yeah, Voronkov needs to drop down a little bit, but
until he got up there.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
KJ's 53. Yeah, I don't understand Fantilli being so high. That I get it. He's had good runs, but that's pretty high. But
he's on like a 90-point pace ever since Monahan went down, though, and he just keeps scoring goals somehow.
Yeah,
he's just nails.
And then Renewski is 73. He came down, before the Four Nations started. He was up in the 8s. So he's come down a little bit in salary, which is actually great because I love him when he's in the 7s. It's a great salary point for him.
Yeah, and like talking about the Jackets a lot because like finally happy for once hockey wise, but like if I got to pick between Fantilli and Dylan Larkin at like a similar price point, I'm gonna take Dylan Larkin at home against Elvis, who just gave up some goals, man. Elvis, he needs to tighten it up.
Yeah, I don't mind picking on him on the road.
But Elvis is definitely going to play probably the 2 Detroit games because he's played the most recently and the coach trusts him. So they're not going to.
Well, especially the game in Ohio Stadium. I mean, he's definitely going to play that. That'll be a massive game. We'll probably be seeing like 70 to 100,000 people there.
It's over 90 right now.
Yeah, the Ohio Stadium sits 105, so it may capacitize it. So we'll see. But switching over to the Detroit side, I mean, their power play 1 has just been awesome all year this year, led by Larkin, DeBrincat. I mean, Patrick Kane, he's been revived this year with that line. Cedar is always great. And then Raymond's been good, but he's been hit or miss. But I do like Larkin and DeBrincat. I mean, they're a great pairing, those 2 guys together. What do you guys think on that?
Yeah, give me some Lucas Raymond with
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 Larkin.
with Larkin. You can throw Cider in if you want. Raymond is top 3 in my best ball exposures, and he's carrying me. So
It's
And
fantastic.
they're not hard to stack either.
No, I mean let me check their salary points. I think Larkin's in the mid 6. No, he's actually 7,300 tomorrow. Give me a second here. Let me take a look here at we got Raymond's is at 7. That's
Ooh.
pricey for him.
Wow.
Yeah, he
DeBrincat
doesn't shoot enough.
69. Kane is 68.
Whoa.
They are really pricey tomorrow.
I'll take back what I said.
And
You
then
could-
Cedar is 6. So
It's the Blue Jacket price
Effect.
buff because it's just chaos.
yeah.
It's the Coors bump.
Yeah, it's Coors. Yeah, the traveling Coors Field.
All right, let's check the next set of games here. Calgary and Tampa Bay. Looks like Dustin Wolf and Vazzy are going to be in the goals for this game. I like Vazzy at home. I think Vazzy at home is a different level goalie than he is on the road. I like Wolf at home, but Wolf's on the road, and I think he can actually be targeted here. I really like what Hagel's been doing lately. He has just been a goal machine since Four Nations concluded. Brandon Point he's been good, but I would kind of go away from him in this one. This is just my personal opinion. I think I would, if I'm loading up on this side of the Tampa Bay side, I'm going Hagel with potentially Nikita and then Gunsel, which Gunsel hasn't been like great, but he could always pop off here or there. And you tend to get them at lower ownership too. On a full 12 game slate like this, Gunsel's ownership could probably be sub 2%, if not sub 1. But Hagel is the dude. This guy has just been freaking fantastic lately. And just going to keep riding him, like I don't see why we wouldn't just keep riding this guy. What do you guys think on this one?
I think you need to get a Hagel Team Canada jersey right next to your Rasmus Ristolainen Finland jersey.
Yeah. I can't live that Risto down, man. Dude, he's won me a shit ton of money, so I won't run him down.
No, for me, it's Vasilevsky. Calgary will shoot, but they're not like typically a potent offense. And Tampa is just pricey. To be honest, I haven't like looked at this slate yet, which is like, so you're getting our raw like first thoughts here. But I'm just assuming down the line there's better values with Kucherov usually being 8,000-9,000. I mean, I do like Hagel. I like Gensel and Point and those guys, but that's usually you can't really do much else if you do it.
Hagel's 67. You're right. Nikita is 87, and Point is he's been in the 6,200 range. Yeah, 65.
He's been a good guy.
And then Gunstel is 71.
And Calgary somehow is in the mix, like trying to fight for as many points for playoffs as possible, and they're like a scrappy defensive team.
Yeah. Well, Kadri is the only guy that I really have any interest in on Calgary. I don't really have any interest on anyone else. Maybe Uyghur or Rasmussen, but it's just for me. It's Kadri.
Now,
I
Burns,
don't have a
got
whole lot of interest outside of goalies in this game. So.
My question to Burns is when Hagel and Kachuk fought at Four Nations, was Burns standing up going, "Get him, Hagel! Get him!"
Yeah, I always like when United States and Canada played and they just dropped gloves immediately within like the first 10 seconds of the game, like 3 times. It's just like this is what it's all about. It's like let's drop the gloves.
I wonder if there's gonna be like any stipulations. I hope not, but like a lot of dudes got hurt. Like Shea Theodore is on LTIR. Kachuk's hurt. McAvoy's hurt. Adam Fox, like he looked bad during that tournament, and now he's done.
McAvoy's out for the year, isn't he?
He's something like he had like a shoulder problem, and then he like got an infection at the hospital or something.
Damn.
Something I don't even know, but that's like crazy. It's like team's best players.
Yeah, that's the problem with the All-Star games, right? That's why the NBA the All-Star game is like a joke. These guys don't do anything in these games.
Next year's the Olympics, but the thing is, internationally, I think it's an automatic. You're kicked out of the game.
Yeah, you can't fight. You're out of the tournament.
But they might crush each other still.
But then they think they're gonna try to get NHL rules for the World Cup.
Okay. That would work. Yeah. All right, I didn't mean to hold us up. I just want to know
one
if
fight.
Was
you don't get. You're allowed one fight, and you don't get kicked out.
Yeah. Okay.
Next game.
Yep. Moving on, we got Edmonton in Florida. Looks like goalie Bob and Skinner are going to tend the net tomorrow night. At least they're expected. I'll kick it to you, Tattoo. You're an Edmonton dude. So what are your thoughts on this one before I go over to Sean?
If it's anything like Edmonton has been playing, you could expect 4 to 7 goals out of Florida. We just have been atrocious. Like no forechecking, just not playing the middle, just wide open. And we're not playing great right now. So
is that because of defense?
Yeah, the defense is just horrid. Klingberg was not the answer so far.
That's why you just claimed Travis Dermott.
Do what?
You just claimed Travis Dermott or whatever.
All right.
From Dark Pasta's team. Enjoy that.
Come on, Cup.
So is this a game where you guys are gonna utilize as stacking the stack pieces from this game, or are you gonna just is it an MME stack game for you?
It's probably MME for me. Like, I play the single entries and stuff, and this one doesn't do it for me because, these teams don't like each other, Stanley Cup and all that. And with Florida having the final change at home, they're just gonna go Barkov on McDavid as much as possible. Mm-hmm. It just depends on what Edmonton does with their lines. This could be a Draisaitl game. Could be. I'm just
this year every game is a Draisaitl game.
That's true.
Outside of MME, and I don't.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was leaning on this one. And then moving on to St. Louis and Washington, looks like Bennington and Thompson are going to be in the goals. This one might just be a pass for me. I'm not even sure if I would even remotely look at any of these guys or any lines in this game. So for me, it's a pass, but get your guys' opinions on it as well.
I consider Bennington just because he hasn't lost the magic that he had in Four Nations yet. And I'm sure he's going to be cheap on the road. So, I would, just the way I am with goalies, only playing cheap goalies.
He is. Where are you at here? This is easier. He's 7,200.
Yeah, he's somebody I consider, but
Yeah.
I'm good on this one. I usually like St. Louis because they correlate well and they're usually pretty affordable. But both Washington goalies, who like doesn't matter who starts, they're both good. Their defense is good, and then the other side, Ovechkin's a little pricey,
Mm-hmm.
and then everyone else is just kind of unreliable. I
Yeah.
wouldn't like you could just throw that Alexei Protas dude or Chikrin in the line, and I wouldn't hate it, but
I want off
Yeah.
Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Mm.
I mean, he's
you
usually
don't want to
pretty
pair him with
cheap.
Wilson.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, moving on to the Buffalo Carolina game, we got UPL and Pietro looking at. I know I pronounced that awful, but they're in the goals. This is an interesting game. I haven't really parsed this one through yet. Carolina, since Miko has gone over,
Suck.
it's just been weird. I
He
don't know
gone.
how. I don't know how else to say it,
They're
but it's
gonna
just
trade
been
him.
weird. What are you guys' thoughts on this game?
Either like they keep changing their lines to try to unleash the moose that is Miko, and it's just not working because he's just like fumble fucked. He's like his brain's not working. He's sad. They traded him like he was there in Colorado his whole career. He had no idea, and like all of a sudden he's on the other side of the country.
Yeah, I
He
don't
doesn't
think
know what's going
Be
on.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like people thought I was crazy at the time, and because like, oh, it's Miko Rantanen and he's awesome and all this. I'm like, yeah, he is. But like
You don't have
Martin
Nathan
Nietzsche has
McKinnon.
had a great year and he's signed next year for cheap. Like Martin Nietzsche is not someone to be like to sneeze at. I have him tonight. He's on my team right now. But this is either like Carolina at home. They are right there in the thick of the race, tied like in second in the division. They need points, somehow my Jackets are right there. So is New Jersey. They got to win, and this is a game they should win at home on
I
a
agree.
Friday, or no, it's a Thursday. And so there's different ways to stack Carolina. Probably it just depends like what they decide to do. What I think might happen, this is just a hunch, is I don't know who the center would be, but they might put Jarvis with Miko. That's just a total hunch because like nothing's worked yet, and I would be all over that potentially.
Yeah, I think you could do some one-offs in this game. Brent Burns is always a really good piece on the defense. He has done very well this year as just a one-off piece in lineups that I've had, where he like goes off for like 12 to 18 points, and he's cheap enough. He's in the fours most nights for salary. Take a look at him here and make sure that he's where he's at. He's 4,800, so he could get 10 to 15 points pretty easily. He usually gets it through a lot of blocks, and he gets a couple of shots on goal. So he's definitely a really good defender, and I use him a lot when he plays on the slates.
I like Ghost from Carolina too. I'll use him sometimes.
He's definitely cheaper. He's 1,200 cheaper.
Yeah, trying to find somebody. I'm always searching for cheap defensemen and cheap goalies. So but outside of, I don't have a whole lot of interest in this game.
Yeah. Then moving on to the 7:30 beyond games, Philly and Pittsburgh are battling again. Looks like Urson and Alex Neil Jovic. I'm gonna crush that one.
Nedeljkovic.
Yep, there you go. So Urson has been decent since coming back from Four Nations. He was actually decent going into Four Nations. And but I do like him more at home than I like him on the road as a goaltender. So I like to attack him on the road. This could actually be a decent game to attack Philadelphia on the road with Pittsburgh, but I'm always skeptical about using Pittsburgh in stacks. They just don't pay off more likely than not this year. But if you have that inkling where you want to stack Pittsburgh up, they're decent. I actually think PP2 is a decent stack in this one. Rackle, you got Carlson, Lee Tang. I mean, Bunting is day to day, so we'll see how that rolls. Tomasino, he had a couple of decent runs there earlier in the year and into Four Nations. He had a slightly decent run going into that, but a lot of people, if they're going to play Pittsburgh, they're going to play the power play one with Sidney Crosby, Brian Rust and Malkin. They'll play that way. But what are your guys' thoughts on this game?
I agree with you. Like, as far as Pittsburgh, I'd play Raquel, Carlson. I expect a high-scoring game again. So I think I could stack up Philadelphia. But as far as Pittsburgh, I agree. They're so wishy-washy. But I think Raquel and Carlson are usually pretty, consistent.
I mean, yeah, I'll probably bet the over on this game, but like I don't trust it at all. Philly just smacked them, right? And now they're going to Pitt on the other side of the state. This rivalry game sucks when they both suck.
Yeah.
And I just have a hunch about Pittsburgh's top line, so I might throw a dart there, like a smaller dart, just as like a little revenge from them getting smacked up the other night. But
Kevin Hayes,
Matvey Michkov has been lighting it up since the break. I think he's been helping me out on best ball. I don't know what their lines are right now, but usually Scott Lawton, Michkov, that's like who I'm looking at because the rest of them are pretty pricey.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay,
I'm not in love with it.
Yeah. All right. Then Winnipeg and Nashville are taking the 8:00 slot. Looks like Comrie is going to go up against Saros in goals. And I'm just going to put it out there. I have not been able to hit Winnipeg at all this year at the right spot at the right time. I'm always, if I play them, they don't do well. If I don't, then they explode. But this almost seems like it could be a really good game for an exploding Winnipeg to just crush Nashville. Connor, Sheffley, Morrissey. I mean, these guys are really good players, and you're not going to hold them down for long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're up 3-1 right now, and this is tomorrow, right? Like we didn't scroll down to like next Thursday or some shit because they're in Ottawa right now, and they're going down to Nashville in a night. Like, what is going on? But
that's weird.
Both, Hellebuck's going tonight, so yeah, it would be Comrie. But Luke Shen, one of the defensemen on the Nashville, had a quote. He's just like, "I've never been on a team like this that just can't score a goal. So I don't know if that means Nashville against the backup goalie at home is going to do it, or if they're just like, fuck this whole year. Like they're just done. They're just like, trade me. Like, I don't know.
I don't
this
know.
game is kind of a pass for me.
It's
this
scary.
This game's weird. I mean, Marichal, I've used him, and he just like this week on Monday, I used Marichal, and he just flopped. He got like a 1.5 points, and he was projected for 13 in the domination station. I'm like, man, I'm not falling for that, So it's a tough one. If I had to do a one-off for Nashville, it's definitely Forsberg. He seems to always do pretty decent. But other than that, I'd probably be passing on Nashville in this one for sure. Probably pass on Winnipeg if they're definitely playing tonight and they got to travel. So
yeah, and like even though Saros has been sucking, like he sucked last game, like he's like historically not like garbage, but he's been like, I don't know. I just don't trust this.
He's off this year. He's just having an off year.
It's weird.
Right. Minnesota taking on Utah. It looks like we got Gustavsson and Carell in goals for Minnesota and Utah. Utah is a interesting team. They're young. You got Cooley, you got Keller. Gunther is on freaking Fuego. And then you got Sherachev. I mean, they're a good team. Like they're a good young nucleus team. Minnesota, they're without Eck in this one. He's on the IR. Kaprizov is also on the IR, so they're kind of shaky. Like Minnesota is like barren. So this could be a pop-off game for Utah. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't hate it. That's like pretty sneaky. I don't really trust either side because both goalies, like no matter who plays, are pretty solid. And Minnesota's got a good defense. And Utah actually has a good defense now with Dursey and Marino back. But Utah's got more team speed, especially without Kaprizov and Eriksson Ek. So that could be pretty sneaky. I like that.
Yeah. As far as how I play, like, single entry, this would be a goalie game for me, but offensive wise is GPP, MME for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Let me look at the standings real quick because, like, with my Jackets being like somehow decent this year, I pay attention to the East but not the West. Like, I'm wondering if this has like.
I don't know.
No, Utah's kind of.
They're 8 games of like. Well, let's see, 68 to 52. So.
Yeah, I mean, the Wild need to start winning more games. Utah's kind of out of it.
Yeah,
Utah's I think they're definitely out of it.
Minnesota's holding on for dear life until.
Yeah, I mean, if they're able to get Kaprizov back before playoffs and then Eck back before playoffs, they'll be a different team for sure.
Yep.
All right, and then let's see. Rounding us out, we have the 10 o'clock games. Let's see if there's any other games. Nope. It just looks like we rounded out with Vancouver and Anaheim. It looks like Silovos, yeah, and John Gibson are going to be tending the net in this game. I think Anaheim is one of those teams that is just always sneaky, like Troy Terry, Vetrano. I mean, these guys are really good. Jackson Lacombe has just been lighting it up lately, and on the defense, I mean, these guys are always pretty decent plays. And I'll take a look at their salaries, but I think Lacombe might be getting up there because he's actually producing on a night-to-night basis. But
He's legit.
yeah, these guys are really good players. They're young. Lacombe's 4,500. Let's see, Troy Terry. Let's see where you're at. Troy Terry's 5,700, and Vetrano is 6,500.
What about Leo Carlson?
Carlson.
Freaking yeah! I don't trust Shelovs at all for Vancouver, and it will be him because Lankinen's going tonight, so they're doing the Cali trip. I like Anaheim, depending on the lens.
Carlson's 4K. Strome is 4,200.
Yeah, and Zegras is suspended.
Yeah, I saw Zegras was out on DraftKings. So, yeah, this is a good young team. Vancouver, don't get me wrong, Vancouver, they're good. They got Elias, Peterson. They got
DeBrusk,
DeBrusk, Garland.
They're scrappy. It
looks like Hughes is day to day. So
yeah, I don't know if he's playing tonight, but I wasn't worried about it because I couldn't get there anyway. So I don't know if he's going to play. That's like the whole. Yeah. He is the engine. Yeah. You know, he's the like how the Wild have Kaprizov. You know, like certain teams have their dude.
Yep.
He's their guy. Like if the Jackets didn't have Werenski, I don't know. It's done.
Yeah, if Hughes is out in this game, it might be actually a decent game for Anaheim to pop off. All right.
Something to look at.
And then last game, Bedard show, Chicago going against Vegas. Looks like Aiden Hill's in the goal, and Mrazek is in the goal. So at least they're projected to be in goal. This one right here, I think this is everybody's going to load up on this game on the Vegas side of things. It seems like Chicago, whenever they're on the slate, everybody just loads up on the other side. Chicago's on the road here, and Vegas is a different, they're just dynamite at home. Power play one for me, line one, that's Eichel, Mark Stone. It's, I think Hannafin is probably the defender on the line one at this point with Theodore out. Dorovev has been pretty darn good with Hurdle. So I mean, there's like really good pairings. Like Eichel, good bit, but he's probably really pricey though. Yeah, he's 8K.
And if Vegas handles business like they should, like as long as they don't get complacent, they should roll four lines. So like, you don't have to spend up on Eichel's line here. You can, like, if I do anything with this game, it's probably going to be a little cheap ancillary piece.
Yeah,
like even Brandon Saad has looked good since they picked him up.
Yeah,
and I think I'm be like completely off of Chicago in this game.
Oh yeah,
touchable pieces for me would be like Seth Jones or Ryan Donato.
I don't know. You see Seth Jones's quote? Like he already requested a trade, but
he knows.
he was like, I'd have to rewatch that interview.
You know who his dad is?
I don't even know. Yeah, Popeye
Jones.
But he's just defeated. He might just take his jersey off. It's like, see ya. I'm gonna go to the casino.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that. I mean,
play big rig, see if he can get you something.
Yeah, I mean, even Vlasic, he's been decent when Seth Jones was out, but now that Jones is in, Vlasic has just been kind of like meh, just another defender at a lower salary point.
And I'm sure
Um,
Aiden Hill is the $8,500 goalie.
Yeah, he's up there.
Probably. No
But
thanks.
yeah, so concluding for that, it's a pretty good slate. I think could actually be a dynamite slate where we things just come together really well. Lineups come together really well. If you're going to be playing single entry, look at a 3-3-2 stack. If you're playing MME, obviously a 4-3 stack is the way to go. Especially if you're attacking the mini max, the 50 cent per entry contest, and you shell in the 150 4-3s, 3-3s. Those are probably the primary way to go on stacking in that contest. If you're doing cash, you could do 3-2-2. You could do a 2-2-2-2. Those are fine, but I tend to go when I'm in cash 3-2-2 or a 3-3-2. So whatever works best for you, keep working it. But that's all we got tonight for Tattoo, Sean, Boy, and Shark Lab. We bid you adieu for the night, and we wish you nothing but the ultimate success on tomorrow night's slate. And we will see you at the top of the leaderboards. Helmets up, boys.